Alright, I've decided to test a broadhead today. We'll see what happens. This is going to be unscientific and very short. I thought I was going to have to take a couple warm-up shots, but the first one, I'll just show you how it went.
20 yards, not a problem. That's about as good as I can do. So
that's a field point. That is not a broadhead. The broadhead's coming up next. I'm going to use my broadheads that I was using last year. So, I mean, it should have the exact same results. I'm going to first do it with the grip that I was using towards the end of the video in the last video, because I feel like that's what I figured out last year. I'm going to see what happens. This is at 20 yards in my backyard, so we'll see what happens. I feel like last year I got this ironed out, and then I might do it closer with the incorrect grip that I was using last year, and we'll see if it buries itself in the side of my garage. So we'll see how this goes. Good. At least it's not 40 feet off to the right. Okay.
So I think that's pretty good. I'd have to shoot a little bit more to do a group, but I'm not really concerned about it right now because where it was hitting was my garage back there. In fact, you can see the damage right here. So that's not concerning at all to me.
So that's actually very, very good. I'm very pleased with that result. We'll obviously have to go out further to see if that has really any impact on it. Move a little bit closer and do some incorrect grip where I use more of the palm of my hand. And when I say that, I'm not talking about, like, you know, having the bow grip right there. I'm talking about a small amount of the palm of my hand can change where the broadhead goes drastically. So I'm going to move up a little bit so I don't destroy my garage. I'm going to show you what happened, and then I'm going to move these targets so I have more in between the target and the garage, so that if it misses off the target, then it will not hit my garage. So let's do that right now.
Okay, I've got this set up to where we have our target right there. We also have a target. I don't know how much that's going to help with a broadhead, but it's off to the right to catch a broadhead if it goes way off the target. But I'm going to show you what just a small amount of incorrect grip will do to a broadhead at even 20 yards.
So I haven't quite halved the distance, but I am closer to it, and I feel like that's the best move here, because like this may change very, very drastically, and I don't want it to go off to the side and hit my garage. So no tricks here. This is how bad this was last year, and if it goes in the center, great. But I have a feeling that it's going to go way off to the right at less than 20 yards, and that's what I was dealing with last year. So let's go ahead and look at this. No idea where that went. So that actually almost went dead center. It was a little high, but I am closer than 20 yards, so I'm gonna take it a little bit more extreme on my grip and see what that does. Because that was not happening last year. Let's see. That went dead center too. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so this is wild. There is a little bit of difference with some of my grip changes, but they're not going all the way off to the right like they were last fall. I have no idea what's going on. It was really, really far off last year, and I don't know why. The only thing that I found that makes it go off to the right like that is seriously torquing my bow grip to the left. And I have to do that on purpose. Okay. That was sort of more where it was last year. So what I had to do was torque my bow all the way to the left and really get this thumb kind of like pushing the grip that way. And that sort of achieved what was happening last year. It even went really high too. I'll show you. Shit. Yeah, so it's all the way up there. Aiming right there. It's all the way up there. Some of them were going like maybe like an inch above the target as I was trying different things that would, you know, make that arrow fly off in a different direction, but most of them were like right in line with that center dot. So that means that I seriously had to be doing something wrong last year for me to get a result like that. Because I'm at like maybe 15 yards. And that did that. So that's more like the result that I was getting last year during hunting season. So that's pretty worrying. That's pretty concerning, and that means my grip discipline got really out of control last year. And I was shooting a lot too. I think it's good that I'm putting a lot of importance on making sure that my grip this year is much better, much more consistent than last year. Consciously focusing on it, because that's more like what I was getting last year, and obviously that's unacceptable. That's probably a foot up, and then maybe 3 inches to the right. So and at 20 yards that might be off the target. So I'm gonna shoot another one with, you know, the correct grip that I was experimenting with. Yeah, that's concerning. I don't know how I was that far off last year, but who knows? All right, one more shot with the broadhead, and then I'm fairly satisfied with this, because that means that, you know, I had to be doing something really stupid with my grip to get that kind of a result, which means that, you know, it's relatively torque tuned. Unfortunately, it's not idiot tuned, so I was able to get that extreme result. I had to do a lot to get that, but all right, one more shot, and I think I'll be satisfied with that. We're back out at 20. Let's see what happens. See what we got. Field point broadhead. I'm not too concerned with the vertical right now. That's something to keep an eye on, but I was really concerned about the horizontal shift, and from right here, I mean, it looks like it's smack dab centered, and it's even in line with the dot, so I hope this doesn't become an issue in the future, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to test that at a further distance. That's gonna be another thing that I can test in the woods for another video, but I'm pleased with, you know, getting that under control and figuring out, like, I have to do a lot to screw up a broadhead on there, but I just don't know how. I don't know how that it got so out of whack in the first place. I mean, that was. I had to go to a fairly crazy extreme to get that broadhead to jump off to the right. So I don't know what was going on with me last year, but I don't know. Those little changes in grip can add up if you're shooting a whole bunch. So I'm happy with that result. I don't know if that discrepancy on the vertical is going to become an issue, but that's something that I will keep an eye on and see if that continues when it goes out to further distances. But for right now, I'm fairly pleased that it's not hopping off to the right 1.5 feet. So that's more to test later. So, and I might change broadheads anyway. So, because I'm kind of going the fixed blade, 2-blade, resharpenable route, where you get high quality steel and you can resharpen it. So, anyways, that's all from me for today. So, I'll just keep testing, keep shooting.